Hey, Daily Dosers, this is Pastor Larry here, and this week we're talking about a thing called paradise lost, and it goes back to the fall. Now, I realize for a lot of you go, fall, we live in Southern California, many of us, like, what's the fall? No, it's the fall of Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3. In Genesis chapter 1, what you've got is who made it all. And then in Genesis chapter 2, you have what life is supposed to be like. And then in Genesis chapter 3, you've got why everything is so messed up. And then chapter 4, the first story after that is one brother killing another brother to just say it is as broken as it could ever be. And that has continued to this very day. Now, Jesus broke the chains that we were under, the chains to sin. But until he returns, we're still going to be living in a world that is not under the control of God, though ultimately, but right now he's allowing Satan to be, as the Bible calls still, the God of this world. And it all goes back to this thing called the fall. Because when Adam and Eve decided to disobey God, all of us as their children were born with that sin nature. That's why it's so important that, by the way, theologically, that Jesus was born of a virgin. He wasn't born with a sin nature, so he could be like a second Adam, and he could live his life and therefore die in our place, not dying because he deserved his own death for his own sins. But what I want to focus on is simply the fact of how broken our lives and our world is. Because when everything is broken, we tend to start comparing things and go, well, that's pretty good. And we don't realize, compared to what it should be, how broken it is. It's like you get a bunch of people that are incarcerated, and they'll start looking around and have a pecking order of who's worse than who. Well, dude, all of you are incarcerated, but the point is, in our human nature, we start going, well, I'm not as bad as this. And no, dude, you're in jail. And we are all in brokenness. I think sometimes we look around at other people and just by our upbringing, our temperament, or whatever, there are some of us that are nicer than others. There are some of us that are kinder than others. Some of us have a disposition to serve others. Some of us don't, and we think are special. But once again, we're like all those dudes in jail saying, well, compared to all the others in jail, and we have no idea what life is supposed to be like. In fact, some of us almost get an idea that God chose us like a sports team would pick a draft, that he kind of looked ahead and saw all that we could become for him. And he said, man, I like that one. Let's put it on our team. And it's no, no, no. We were all in jail. He paid the penalty to get us out, and he goes up and down the jail cells, unlocking them. And then we have the choice. Are we going to stay in there with the prison food, or are we going to walk out and follow him? But we're not suddenly walking out and on our own. We have a choice: stay in prison or walk out and follow him. Those are the two choices. So we are not just freed from our sin so we could be on our own. We're freed from our sin so that we could follow Jesus. I love how in the book of Ephesians, it talks about the real situation we're all in that we sometimes, because we look around at our peers, don't realize. Listen to what scriptures say about all of us, every single one of us, the best of us. As for you, you were dead, spiritually dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of this world and of the ruler of the kingdom of the air. That's Satan, the spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient. All of us also lived among them at one time, gratifying the cravings of our flesh, our own desires, and following its desires and its thoughts. And like the rest, all of us were by nature deserving of God's wrath. But because of his great love for us, God, who's rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ even when we were dead in our transgressions. It's by grace, completely unmerited favor, that we have been saved. If I remember that, it does such a beautiful job of chipping away at the arrogance and pride that can so easily separate us from God. You know, when God said, there's 6 things I hate, yea, 7, the number one thing on his list was haughty eyes, looking down on other people. And part of walking with God for a long time, part of becoming more and more obedient, is that we can take our eyes off Jesus and how short we come and start looking at others around us and see how far we've come. And when we do that, we lose our grace and our mercy for those who are not yet where we are. and especially for those who have not yet turned. May that never, ever be. The fall wasn't the cause of all of that sin out there. The fall was the cause of all of the sin here. And the cross is what takes it away.